when the music stops. Right here on Rated R Radio. He made me say it twice. This is when the music stops. Stop.
Yes. Mic check 1 2. Rated R Ken PHIZE in the house. Right here on When the Music Stops. And this is the portion that we like to call the rundown. And this is where me and PHIZE just sit back and just run down the list of crazy things that's been going on in our society. And the one thing I want to start off with that's been crazy, the Harambe situation.
It is what it is, you know.
Hey,
Harambe probably shouldn't have been in that zoo anyway. He should have been out in the wild doing his thing.
And they say he was a rare silverback gorilla as well. I guess he was last of a dying breed. No, he should not have been.
Yeah, they probably was in there making them, you know what I'm saying?
Trying to make some more Harambes.
Yep. When somebody got a couple Harambes, brothers and cousins on their wall, you know, then killed them and everything else. And Harambe probably on somebody's wall right now, believe it or not. They probably ain't told you that story. But that's neither here nor there.
He'll probably be stuffed somewhere in the zoo pretty soon. Y'all see a model of a silverback gorilla. But yeah, man. And so as we keep running down the list of crazy things, so we move on to North Carolina. We move on to North Carolina. Miss Catherine Jennings, is it her name? Catherine Jennings. She gets probation, 5 years to be exact, probation for killing not one, but both of her infants. The thing here is, she didn't kill them per se necessarily. It was more so done off neglect. She was sleeping with her kids. And not sleeping with them in that way, but she was literally, they were laying in bed with her throughout the night, and she somehow rolled over on them, smothered them, but not one, but two of her kids died, and they died back to back, like year-wise. I thought that was kind of crazy. How
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, 1 year, you know, what was like 2012, and then
2012 and 2013. It's not like, forgive my analogy, but it's not like, she had twins and she, you know, both of them got smothered at the same time. It was like, last year I smothered your brother. This year I messed around and smothered you. You know, what kind of foolishness is this?
Kind of foolishness.
I'm like, at that point, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'm not knocking any parents out there. I'm pretty sure there's some great parents that have done this before and may have lost a child.
Yeah.
You know, moment of silence for them.
Yes.
But if you do it in 2012, that lesson should be learned. That baby from 2013 should have never been in the bed with you during nighttime. You feeling tired? Probably never. I probably would be traumatized. Like, hey, my kids don't get in the bed with me. I got a rocker right next to the bed. Whatever you gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But 2 years back to back, crazy.
Man, I know. Back in the day when my son was an infant, you know, I would let him sleep in the bed with me all the time because I had a king size bed. First of all, I made sure the bed was big enough, but he would lay near the wall. I had the bed up against the wall. He would lay near the wall, and I always laid on the edge. I made sure I was far away from him as possible. And I don't know, you just sometimes when you sleep, whether it's a baby or just someone, you're always aware of who's in the bed with you. That's just something that I've always been aware of. So, you know, I've heard those stories about, you know, someone rolling over, and I'm not sure. Maybe she was a big lady. You know, sometimes you got to look at the size and things like that. You got to look at the nature of the situation.
According to this photo, she don't look like a big lady. Not at all. Could be an old photo. Neither here nor there.
But it just makes you wonder, man, like twice. One time, like you said, it happens. Mistakes happen. Yeah. That second time, if I was the husband, because she was married. They said she was married, and they got an older daughter, in which they had now split because she didn't kill both their kids, and so he didn't, I guess, moved on now and took his daughter with him. And if I was the husband, I would have said, "No, sweetie, we got to get we need a crib for this one. He cannot sleep in the bed with us just like we did the last one."
There ain't no telling. You know, that baby probably had a crib, and maybe he was crying.
That one faithful night, that one faithful night.
Here, at the 2012, it's like, look, I'm gonna sit up in here with you in your room crying, versus me bringing you in the bed and a possibility of what happened in 2012 happening again in 2013. And reportedly, you know, that looks like she got 5 years probation for that.
Again, a slap
probation.
On the wrist.
In 2012, it's an accident.
Yeah.
You know, I have sympathy for you and your family. 2013, I have now declared you a murderer.
Yeah.
I ain't got no more sympathy. You should have learned that lesson.
We just say go to jail.
You gotta go to jail.
Pass go. You
Don't
ain't
pass
collected
go.
$200.
I mean, you out here wilding.
He said you are a murderer. Yeah.
You're a murderer at that point. Now I'm questioning. I feel like you need to be doing some extra investigation of what occurred that night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, have his, you know, let me just not go down that path. But
Okay.
I'm just like, at that point, I'm just like, so what's really going on up in here?
Yeah.
You out here taking young boys out?
What is it? But the thing here is they not looking further. They just giving her 5 years probation.
5 years probation.
And probation.
And what is the probation like for murdering two? For suffocating two of your own children? What is that probation? What is that? As long as you don't come in contact with the law again? Is that as long as you don't, kill anybody else? If you don't catch a speeding ticket?
Right.
What are the parameters of this probation?
Right. That can get you back locked up. What are the parameters?
Because clearly she ain't been doing none of that other stuff. She just been, suffocating kids.
Suffocating her own babies. Man, that should be jail.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. She better not open up no daycare. I'm gonna tell you one thing.
No, she need to register as something where she needs to stay away from kids. Yes. And speaking of staying away from folks, as we keep it on this rundown, there was another situation here. I'm not sure what city I believe this is in California. I'm not sure, but there's been a guy. His name was Brock Turner. You all may be familiar with that name. He was an athlete who one night had a little bit too much to drink. Was at a party, and he decided to help himself to one of the ladies that was there. I guess she had a little bit too much to drink as well. Still does not make it no right at all to take advantage of women, especially being drunk. But this guy, he pretty much took her outside behind a dumpster. He raped her, and luckily some bicyclers, some guys riding by on a bike, had came by and witnessed it, and they pulled the man off the girl or whatnot. Well,
let me go back.
Go ahead.
From my understanding, from what I've seen, is that he may have, or he did, put something in her beverage.
Oh.
So I think she might have been drugged.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the understanding that I have, But, there's information out here. There's facts. I was not there, so I don't know the facts. I just got information. So, from my understanding, I think he put something in her beverage. I got some of the story. It was just like, when I heard it, I was just kind of disgusted.
Right.
But go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, man, pretty much he was caught. And
in the act.
You be thinking like, oh, okay, yes, he was caught in the act. First of all, he was caught in the act. They know who did it. So there's not no mistaken identity. They don't have to go through no DNA. None of that. And again, man, bro, we have someone, we know someone personally whose uncle just got out of jail after serving 26 years of being falsely accused. 26 years in prison for being falsely accused of rape. So this guy was caught in the act. They saw him. There were witnesses for this guy for raping this young girl, and the judge name is Aaron Pinsky. For those of you who want to look this information up, the judge's name is Aaron Pinsky, and the judge sentenced the guy to 6 months.
What'd you say? 6 months?
Yeah, his prison sentence, 6 months, and the
was that jaywalking he was doing? What'd you say?
Rape, my man, rape, 6 months, and this is what the judge said. Prison would have been a severe impact on him. He would not. He is not the type of guy to put other lives in danger.
Let's talk about this for a
Okay.
second. I want to go back and dissect this a little bit.
Okay, yeah, we can do some dissecting.
So in my mind, let's go back a little bit. In my mind, rape is like an ultimate act of theft.
Mm.
He has stolen something from this young lady. He's stolen something. It's not something he can give back. And let's dive a little further into that. So the lady was unconscious. So he's stolen something without her knowledge. She is unconscious, drugged.
No consent.
No consent.
No consent.
No yes, no consent. He's stolen something. And he would have gotten away with it had those cyclers, those people I can't stand to see riding on the side of the street when I'm trying to get past.
Get out the way.
That's neither here nor there. Those cyclers not had done what they did.
Yep.
So he would have got away with it. Boom. They catch him. Boom. He's caught. Boom. Go to court. Yada, yada, yada. He gets 6 months. Possibly can get out in 3 months. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Just gonna call it right there.
Bull. And you know what's sad about it all? I was listening to the statement from the lady, and she was saying that she didn't even know what had went on, bro. She woke up and had she woke up and the police and everything was around her at the time.
Exactly.
So she was out of it the whole time he was doing that. And from her words, I believe. She said she woke up, she had pine needles and stuff all in her hair.
Exactly.
And she didn't learn about the story until she read it in the paper herself. But just hearing her describe how she felt, I listened to the letter that she wrote to him.
Yeah.
It was heart wrenching just to hear her describe how she felt. That she felt disgusted, didn't want her body. He robbed her of her innocence, like you said. That's like the ultimate robbing. And then to have his father come out and protect him as well, saying a long sentence would be a steep price for 20 minutes of action.
You know what? Even before we get to his father's foolishness, I want to take another step back and think about this. This man, stole something from this woman. Her innocence, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever we're gonna call it, without being vulgar.
Right.
Stole something from this woman. Stole her right to make a decision.
Exactly.
Drugged her.
Took that away from her.
Took her in the alley behind a dumpster. Had sex with her. Let's just back off of that, because even just thinking about it, if let's say you're young, you're a single man, you out at the club, you get a young lady, what I'm saying, you guys are enjoying each other's company, you get back to her house, she get back to your house, whatever the case is, you get to the bed, she passes out, goes to sleep. What are you doing? At that point, it's like, missed my opportunity.
Hey,
even if she consented at the door, it's going down.
Yeah.
When you got to the bed or wherever you was trying to do it at, if she sleep, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
What type of mind says, oh, she consented earlier? I mean, that's not the case in this story. What type of mind says oh, I think she was down with it, I'm gonna go ahead and get to it? That's kind of sick to me.
The thirst is real, Fees. It's sad, but it's real. And me and you are college boys, bro, and I've been in the same predicament where it's just like you be partying with your people, and then y'all come back to the dorm, and then you all y'all are nice off alcohol or whatnot. Everybody's feeling nice. The young lady you may have been trying to chat with through the night, she falls asleep on you. She goes to sleep. She may come back to your dorm room, everything is all good, and then she lays there and dozes off or whatever. It's a wrap, man.
It's a wrap, man.
It's a wrap.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The most you can hope for is that when she wakes up in the morning or in the middle of the night, then something transpires at that point.
Yeah.
You cannot, even if she said yeah and she dozed off, you cannot be talking about I'm about to get me some. In my mind, I'm just like, that's disgusting.
Disgusting.
Who would actually want to have sex with someone who is not conscious? That's an even deeper level. It's just like, what is going on in your mind?
You know what they call that, man? Necrophiliac or something like that.
Necrophilia.
Necrophilia. Yeah.
I thought that was just only with dead
people. Hey, some people.
But I guess at the same point, it's like
sad.
They unconscious. Nothing's going on. Like, why would you? I just can't even grasp that.
At all,
I can't even grasp that.
I
can't grasp raping someone.
But even getting to that point before you
get to rape, it's like someone was willing and then they fell asleep. It's like, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Dang,
it's a wrap.
She fell asleep. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, man.
I'm about to go to sleep too.
The whole putting stuff in people's drinks is lame. All that stuff is lame, man. And the thirst, bro. The thirst is real. It's sad. I pray for these young folks out here, especially guys who sometimes may feel pressured to do certain things, or
especially them young ladies who turn talking to their homegirl, and the dude next to him who ain't said 2 words to him, then sprinkle something up in that beverage.
Yeah.
And then they just, circle the party and wait on her to feel those effects. This is crazy.
Stalking. It's crazy, man. But this situation, in a whole, is terrible. And the main point I kind of want to bring from this situation here with this rape, what's sad is that the judge, he was a star athlete as well at Stanford. And the guy Brock Turner was an athlete at Stanford as well. So the judge was an athlete as well.
Was that a certain variation of the Good Old Boys Club?
Oh yeah, man. You got it. You hit it right on the head. The Good Old Boys Club. And so they're thinking that in the event that the judge was an athlete, he had I guess felt sorry for the young 20-year-old who was also an athlete at Stanford as well, and so he gave him a very, very lenient sentence.
Or he may have done the same thing and didn't get caught, so he like, I feel you. I understand where you're coming from. Somebody caught you this time. I'm gonna let you off with a hand slap.
That's crazy. So in this situation where this judge could have made a statement and could have set an example with this boy, he didn't. But yet, in other cases, like my man Corey Beatty, in another city, again, y'all, rape is not good in no sense. So if any woman was taken advantage of, I feel like the man should be castrated. I don't even think jail is feasible for rape for a lot of these men. I think you need to castrate them, cut their stuff off, and they live in torture for the rest of their life. They utilize their manhood for the wrong thing, so it needs to be cut off so they can't use it no more. But in another situation, though, a guy named Corey Beatty, a black guy, he was convicted of 3 counts of rape, the same thing that this guy Brock Turner was convicted of. Only this dude Corey Beatty gets 15 to 25 years.
Mandatory,
15 to 25.
Interesting.
Sad. And his situation was a little bit different. They kind of brought the girl. She was drunk. They brought her back to the dorms. And again, both situations is wrong, but it's just the fact that my man Brock Turner had the complexion for the protection, and Corey Beatty pretty much didn't. And
he was not protected.
Not at all.
Now, I agree with you. Both situations was wrong.
Terrible.
Now, what we're saying here, we're not saying Corey Beatty should have received 6 months also, because that would have been a topic to discuss as well.
Exactly.
We're saying, like, how did Famo get off with 6 months?
6 months.
3 months serving. He back out there sprinkling drinks in the club.
And he was caught red-handed, man. That's the thing. Like, I think with the Corey Beatty dude, they got him messing because it was video. It was video circulating and word of mouth. But this Brock Turner dude was caught red-handed. There is nothing else to discuss. You was caught
red-handed.
6 months, man. And another thing with this Aaron Penske guy, what they call him, the judge in this situation, he actually when he first started, they say like back in the 90s or whatnot, actually in the early 2000s, he's been in a judge thing since the 90s, but they say in the early 2000s that he was once a criminal prosecutor that focused on sex crimes and hate crimes. And this comes from something that he wrote to the people to help get him elected. and to be a judge, that he was letting people know, like, hey, I'll focus on these two things. So I'm not understanding.
Said he gonna be hard on a pimp who out here taking it.
But yet he was very lenient on the athlete that was out there taking it, which is what I don't understand.
His fellow athlete, he probably was reminiscing on his days. Back when he used to take it. That's neither here nor there.
Good idea. I mean, not good idea, but good point. Because considering the fact that he was the athlete, he probably was a savage as well, and that got away with some things. And so he was like, "Hey, now that I'm in a position to help y'all get away with some stuff, I'm gonna do that." It's sad, very sad, but that's almost what it seemed like in this situation, considering that judge's background. And his father, man, was really shocked me coming out with those, just with those statements, calling it 20 minutes of action, saying that 20 minutes of action should not mess up 20 years of his life.
20 minutes of action.
20 minutes. That's how he described that.
No. It ain't 20 minutes of action because it took place way before. You know what I'm saying? That sickness took place way before in his mind to date rape someone. Coax or drag. I'm not sure how she got behind the dumpster. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And then begin to have sex with an unconscious woman. I mean, that had to happen way beforehand.
He was sick. Yeah.
I feel like in my mind when I heard it, I said, "Hey,
good point.
Ain't no way this is your first time." You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I think like if somebody probably date raped somebody, they probably date raped them back at the house, or it was on their way to the house. You know what I'm saying? He's probably done that a few times, and then he got so cocky and bold, and then he like, "Oh, I'm gonna date rape some people out in the club." And it don't even matter. We go right back here behind this dumpster. It's only a couple steps away. Nobody will see us, so called. You know what I'm saying? He got bold. You know what I'm saying? I imagine when you doing something like that. That ain't your first time.
No, I was just about to say that. That
ain't your first time. You know what I'm saying? You comfortable at that point. You're like, "Oh, I've been date raping motherfuckers. Nobody ever come back.
Been on this, yeah.
Been on this.
Yeah.
Nobody ever say nothing.
Yeah.
So in his mind, they all like it.